Welcome to the Go Out Living Attitude, a cancer survivor's journey through health and wellness, helping others search for the tools to bring us a healthier and happier lifestyle. Hi everyone, Jonathan Brandt, Go Out Living Shorts Part 13. Today I want to talk about holistic health and what it actually means. And I wanted to start with questions I've been actually getting of how I got involved with holistics in the first place. So why don't we start there? So as you guys all know, me and Christy, my late wife, we were diagnosed with cancer. She was a little over, about 5 years ago. I would have been a little over 3 years ago, closer to 4. And during that time, we were obviously going through treatment, and the treatment was specifically for our cancer. And if you look at it from the conventional medicine side, the one job that they do is treat a specific issue. So for us, it was the cancer, which makes a lot of sense. So while they're treating that specific illness, disease, they tend to forget about everything outside of that. So, for instance, with me, Hodgkin's lymphoma, it was very specific to do this specific treatment, which is chemotherapy. And there's different chemotherapies to try. As you're taking these chemotherapies, you're getting the side effects. And the side effects can be pretty bad. And in the conventional medicine side, they'll look at it as, okay, let's take a pill to try and reduce the side effects. So they tend to add on to each other. And as they're doing that, again, every pharmaceutical usually has a side effect. So again, with us getting chemo, Chrissy also got radiation. We were getting a lot of side effects. Then we were given more pharmaceuticals to try and treat those side effects. For Christy, she had a lot of neuropathy. She had a lot of pain. So she ended up on pain relievers. They tried different things. Not much they can do on the neuropathy side, but that also led into her getting blood clots. So she ended up on blood thinners. And again, the side effects. It keeps pushing into worse and worse things. But again, their main job at the time was to get rid of the cancer. For me, it worked. I ended up having a bone marrow transplant. However, the side effects remain. I ended up having surgery over the summer because of the side effects from the treatment, which was, one, I gained a lot of weight, and two, I had a lot of gut issues. Well, those gut issues got so bad that I ended up having to have surgery and have a significant amount of my colon taken out. So again, if we look at modern medicine, Western medicine, whatever you want to call it, they are specifically trying to treat the one thing. They're not looking at it for what's downstream, for instance. What's it going to affect, as far as other body parts or other systems. And that's where holistic health comes in. So me and Christy got into holistics to try and help with the side effects because we weren't getting the actual answers from the medical world. And we needed a change. Christy actually got into acupuncture, PEMF, trying to think of everything. I mean, she just did a lot of different things, different supplements, different treatments that were a little bit more natural, I guess we can call it. That can be considered a holistic. And the other side of holistics is it looks at the whole person. So as you take this supplement, it affects what? And they look at all of it. And that's became very important to both of us because, again, just treating one thing tends to lead to something else in Western medicine. And the holistic side comes in and says, okay, we're going to do this, but we also know, one, it won't cause side effects. That could be a possibility. Or two, we know exactly what it's going to do to other parts of the system. And it won't affect it in a way that is negative. Or, holistics in general, let's talk about it. It is spiritual, it is social, it is emotional, it is mental, it is physical as well. It's all of it combined is holistic health. So again, we got into it to try and find answers to the side effects. I got my holistic nutrition certificate. I got my personal trainer. I like to look at everything. I ask questions about everything. How are you feeling? How is your social life? And I get into the physical. What are the problems you have as far as, do you feel like you're overweight? Do you feel like you eat well? Do you feel like emotionally you're doing good? You enjoy going to work? There's so many more aspects to the holistic health side than what is very specific in the medical world. And as we continue, like I said, with a person who is looking at holistic health, we look at every part of it. So when I say, okay, let's work on some physical parts of your, let's say, the nutrition side, we're also going to take into account what it will do to the emotional side. Because guess what? As we change things, it's going to have an emotional impact on you. And we're going to look at that because it's important not to damage other parts of the whole person by doing one thing. So again, nutrition side, we start to decide we're going to stop doing drive-through. We're going to start making food at home. Well, is that going to be stressful for you? Because yeah, you have to take a little bit more time to do it. So we'll take, okay, how can we do it but not be so stressful? Okay, we're going to do it we'll start with one meal. We're not going to throw in and do all three. Because again, we want to look at the emotional side. We want to look at the mental health side. We're not going to just say, you got to do this, because we know it could harm other parts of the holistic, the whole person. So that's why we got into it. That's why I like holistics, because again, we're looking at the whole body, the whole person, and how it affects you in every way. And that's, the medical world doesn't look at it like that. They're there to treat the one thing that is the problem that day. And they are very good at it in certain circumstances. But we look at the side effects from that. That's what really got us into it. And that's why, holistic health has become so important in my life. And that's what I want to help people with. As I start my one-on-one coaching, it's going to be the holistics. We're going to look at the whole person because it's so important for your overall life. And that's what we're trying to do. We're looking at the healthy lifestyle. We're looking at not just tomorrow, not just the next day, but the rest of your life is what is really important when it comes down to it. Because it just doesn't have to be a sprint. It can't be a sprint. Sprints usually don't last very long, correct? We want it to be long lasting. We want it to be that marathon. And from the holistic side, we are going to take our time and look at every part of it. Like I said, there's spiritual, there's social, there's emotional, there's mental, there's physical. All of that comes together to make you a better person. And as a coach, that's how we go about it. We take one step at a time with one thing and we see what it affects down the road. So we can keep everything where it needs to be. And that brings you happiness. That brings you joy. That makes it easier to get through life. Then, okay, let's just treat the one thing. So holistic health is extremely important. And that's what holistic health is. It's the whole person. And if you're interested in that, come take a look at Go Out Living, because that's how we're living. That's what we're doing. We're looking at tools that can help the whole person. And we're looking at tools that aren't going to basically give you side effects, because the side effects can be pretty damaging. They can, from so many sides. I saw Christy fighting to even walk. Well, what does that do to your mental health? How do you handle that emotionally? And especially when there's no answers. The holistic side looked at that and we found some tools to help, and as a whole person, she ended up being happier, because when she wasn't finding the answers, yeah, it gets depressing. I had a hard time when I was gaining all my weight and they didn't have answers. Again, I had to find the holistic side to help me figure it out. And it wasn't just one thing. Like I said, it was the whole thing. So for me, I had to look at the nutrition side. I had to change that. From the physical side, I was doing a lot of working out. The fitness side, I should have been doing what would have been considered good, but I wasn't. It wasn't working. So I had to change that. Once I started doing all this and I started losing the weight, the mental health side kicked in and I felt better about myself. The emotional side, I enjoyed things more. I'm still looking for the spiritual side, but no, it's one, knowing that it's all there and you can work on it one at a time, or you can work on it as a whole, but you don't have to run. You can take your time with it. Again, you're looking at a lifestyle. You're looking at the long term. And that's what's fun about it. So holistic health, whole person, spiritual, social, emotional, mental, and physical. You need it all. And that's why I like holistic health. All right, everybody. Hope that answers a lot of questions out there. The difference between holistic health and what we call Western medicine, or the other side, we say. But yeah, those are the differences. One treats one thing, holistics does everything. It's the whole person. So hope that answers everything. I really appreciate every one of you. All right. Thank you all for listening. And as we continue our health and wellness journeys, find the attitude, keep the attitude, go out living.